Hi, my name's Taylor Backman. I'm a senior evangelist at Zoho, and I'll be taking you through the Zoho Platform. In this session, we'll talk a bit about what the Zoho Platform is. We'll see a demo of our end-to-end integration in action. We'll talk specifically about different components of the Zoho Platform, which we call the App Platform and the Cloud Platform. So this is the Zoho Platform in a nutshell, and it has a whole bunch of different layers to it with a whole bunch of different technologies going on. At the top, we have the operating system, which is Zoho One, our complete offering of everything that we do. And all the way down to the bottom, we have infrastructure like networking, which we're always optimizing to deliver our services in a better way. The question is, why do we do all this? Why do we have to talk about this? In short, it's because this is necessary to deliver a unified, extendable, and contextual experience to our customers, and that is something we think is very important. Customers are responding well to this strategy, and we see a number of them continuing to join the Zoho platform, such as Tafe, for example. Tafe is the world's third largest tractor manufacturer, and they have 20,000 seats on Zoho One. They came to us because they needed a unified CX experience with sales and service processes being covered. They needed a common platform that they could put themselves on and also their acquisitions. They wanted to eliminate complexity and overcome limitations of their legacy systems with a real emphasis on integration. They thought Zoho was the right vendor because they see that we're already consolidating technology, that we're already providing a unified end user experience, especially in the CX space where we're then delivering really powerful technology to improve customer experiences, and because they also trusted Zoho's domain knowledge when it came to implementation and continued support. So let's look now at the Zoho platform and break it down further. First, we have the app platform, which we can generally say is what customers interact with. And what's important about this is not only the ability to deliver technology to fulfill the processes that customers have, but also to be able to extend all of this, be able to integrate it, and allow customers to build on it so that they can implement it in particular ways and innovate on top of it. Then, of course, there's the cloud platform, which is really the back-end infrastructure that powers all of this and makes it all possible. Ultimately, then, when we see the Zoho platform, we're talking about something that's vertically, horizontally, and contextually integrated. Vertically integrated in the sense that it starts with the networks and goes all the way to a unified, holistic experience with Zoho One. Horizontally, in that it is something that can be extended across industries and different size of organizations. And contextually integrated in that different parts of this platform pop up in the right areas for a superior experience. So now let's start moving down the stack and looking at each layer. We have, of course, the operating system for business, which is Zoho One. Zoho One has over 30,000 customers on it, and these customers are running, if not their entire business, then substantial parts of it on it. The largest customer that we have on Zoho One is the IIFL, which is a financial conglomerate with 30,000 employees on the system. And when we look at the average number of apps used across Zoho One customers, we see that it's nearly 19. Now the question, of course, is what's driving this app usage? And for us, the answer is end-to-end integration and a unified experience. So now let's go ahead and do our demo. And in this demo, we're going to really see the experience of end-to-end integration in the context of something very familiar, which would be a support escalation. So here we are in Zoho Mail, which is our secure business email. We are playing the role of a salesperson, and we have received an escalation from one of our accounts. Apparently, there has been a ticket submitted, and it's been 3 days without a response. To solve this customer's problem, we're going to need to figure out what's going on the support side. And normally to do this, we would have to open up a CRM, maybe a help desk system, and move around through those to figure out what's going on. But in Zoho One, what we can do is start by simply highlighting the name of the account and then hitting a little button that allows us to search across Zoho. Now we're here in Zia Search from within our email, which has brought up all of the different emails that we have with this account, all of the different help desk tickets that are in the help desk system, different conversations that we've had about this account in the team communication platform, calendar events, contacts, CRM records, documents, and different quotes and invoices, and more. We're going to go ahead and open up the support ticket. Here we see the support ticket is similar to the email that we received, and we can actually look back and see its whole history. We can also see that the support ticket is assigned to a support rep named Michael Garcia. Here we still don't have enough information to solve this problem, so we're going to go ahead and launch the help desk, which we can do. Now that we're in the help desk, we can continue researching the issue and trying to figure out what has gone wrong here. We see, again, a whole history of the support issues. We also see that we can open up the sales information from the CRM, including the potentials, different notes, and activities. We can also open up the accounting information and look at invoices, for example. This invoice, of course, is exactly what we would see in our accounting system or in the CRM, giving us a single source of truth for what's going on with the customer. But as we can see in our research, we still haven't really figured out what the problem is. All we know is that Steve Smith has submitted a ticket and that Michael hasn't responded to it. So now what we need to do is try to figure out what's going on with Michael. And again, we can use Zia Search to do that. We can access that from within Zoho Desk. Now that we've pulled up Michael's record, we can see different emails we've had with him, different chats or channels that he's involved in, and more. Of course, the only information that I can see about Michael is what I'm allowed to see as his colleague. I wouldn't have access to any of his personal information, such as tax documents or pay stubs or anything like that. If we look at Michael's record here on the right, we can now see a few different things. We can see that he reports to Sandra Marks, we can see his email, and we also have options to actually start an email, have a chat with him, have an audio call or a video call. We also see that he's currently out of the office right now. So we'll go ahead and open up Michael's record in the HR system, which is Zoho People. Looking at his page, we can immediately see what the problem is. Michael is ultimately on leave, and that's why he has not answered the ticket. We can dig into this further by looking at the leave tracker. Sure enough, he's been on leave the last few days. Now we can return to his profile page and begin resolving this issue, which would be to contact his manager, Sandra Marks. We see that listed here in the organizational hierarchy area. To contact Sandra, we want to send her a chat. Fortunately, we have an easy way to do that by clicking this little button right here, which brings up the team communication platform in this chat bar down at the bottom. We can then send her a message and get in contact with her. But we can also have an audio call or a video call if we need to. So that pretty much concludes our demo. There's a few things that we should emphasize that weren't exactly shown. Even though we moved through 3 applications, we actually touched on 6 major applications, with data being brought in from the CRM, the accounting software, and then us being able to chat with Sandra using the team communication platform from within the HR system. All of these integrations are pre-built integrations and require minimal setup. And one of the most important things that was happening was the usage of Zia Search, which is a centralized platform service that all apps inherit. Similarly, there were other underlying services working as well, like Directory, our messaging platform, and more. The important thing here is that the time to set all of this up for a customer would be less than a day, since it's all there right out of the box and only requires minimal configuration to get working. Let's go ahead now and continue down the stack. We're now going to look at the platforms layer. The platforms layer ultimately contains multiple platforms. These platforms consist of CX, EX, ERP, and more, and then a separate collaboration layer, and then a separate customization layer. Each of these are all comprehensive platforms in their own right. They're independently strong, but of course even better together. And that's what we're going to talk about now. When we look at trying to organize technology to meet customer needs, obviously we need seamless integration in a space like CX. But since CX doesn't contain all information that's going to be related to making customers happy, it also needs to be connected with ERP, it needs to be connected with the employee experience, and it also needs to be connected with collaboration. All of these things have to fit together in a seamless way if this is really going to work. Similarly, when we look at EX, we see the same thing. Ultimately, when we look at trying to give employees a great experience, we need to have a focus on human resources, but we also need to connect that to our financial systems. We need to be able to connect our employees with our customers correctly so they actually can do their jobs. And of course, we need collaboration within our organization, but then between organizations as well. Now, when it comes to collaboration, we treat it as its own platform because we think collaboration is a critical business problem that deserves its own platform. Many vendors like to claim that they have collaboration, but when we're talking about collaboration, we're talking about something much more comprehensive. We're talking about having business mail, we're talking about having a team communication platform that can do chat, audio, video calling, audio conferencing, and video conferencing. We're talking about being able to do virtual meetings. We're talking about being able to store online documents and then also provide a suite of editing tools that allow you to create and edit those documents. And of course, we're also talking about product management applications and having all of those integrated together, as well as integrated with a number of other productivity applications so that we have a very comprehensive and holistic platform. For us, collaboration apps have to be contextually pre-integrated into all of the other systems across the platform, which includes CX, EX, and ERP. So not only does this mean that the collaboration and productivity tools have to be unified, but they then have to be brought into the right places as well so they can be effective. Lastly, when we look at the customization area of the platform, we again see a distinct layer. This is ultimately what is going to facilitate implementation and innovation as well. Customization consists of custom apps, integrations, extensions, and much more, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. Now we come to apps, which are important because not only do they allow us to solve different customer problems, but they act as key pillars within the stack that support really powerful, integrated, unified platforms, but then also centralized, cutting-edge technology that we're able to bring in across the platform. To this point, it's very important that we have over 50 different applications across devices because it means we're able to do this in the most comprehensive way possible. This brings us now to services. And by services, we mean platform services that power apps and the platforms. These platform services are centralized capabilities that are pushed across our platform through our different applications. We have a number of services that we've worked on, some of which have taken at least a decade to really do. Zia Search, which is what we saw in our demo, is one such example of that. And it is itself built on another service, which would be our directory, that allows us to manage all of the different roles, permissions, and provisioning that is happening within Zoho One. We want to quickly show a couple of examples that help round out the concept of what services are for us. And we'll start with AI. For us, AI is something that we've built completely in-house. We're not using some API from some other vendor and then calling that some major breakthrough. Instead, we're doing a lot of really deep R&D, and we're pushing it across our platform in all sorts of different areas. As we've indicated, services are in fact built on other services. We can see this in the case of Zia Search, which relies heavily on what we've done in our AI research. Take, for example, Zia needing to be able to understand people's natural language. Well, that means that there's a whole bunch of other work that's had to go into that as well. Turning to our second major example, we have analytics. And the big thing about this is that it just works. It's a unified analytics that exists across our entire platform because we're doing all of the work in the background to simply make all of the data available and put it into a really nice visualization. In fact, we have over 1,500 pre-built reports and dashboards. The way this works is that as a customer is using an application that they've turned on, the data is automatically fed into these correct reports and dashboards and is automatically visualized. To add the next report or to get another data set, all you have to do is just turn on the next application and it'll be there. This is even true of blended dashboards, where we're able to bring different data sets together to figure out important things like ROI, for example. If we see on the right side, we have data being brought in from Google Ads, but also from CRM and also from the accounting software. Blending all of this together is what allows us to give customers an accurate idea of what's going on with their marketing spending. Additionally, we're continuing to build out this functionality by adding more robust things to it. And there's a whole session, for example, on our business intelligence, and data preparation is a major part of this. This is something that, of course, goes well beyond what's pictured here and is really going to be an important point of what we're doing going forward. As I mentioned, services are able to leverage each other to provide more sophisticated functionality. Ask Zia is a feature that blends AI and BI together, allowing customers to build custom reports by just simply asking the system for them in their natural language. Once they do this, Zia fetches the data, guesses how it should be visualized, and allows the user to make any changes that they want to. From here, it's just 2 clicks to add this to a dashboard, which could of course be combined with out-of-the-box reporting or a custom dashboard that they're building. Moving to our next layer, we come to storage. Storage is important because a unified platform requires ultimately a unified data model and a unified way of dealing with all of this data. When we talk about a data model or a unified data model, we're talking about our concept of data pillars, which gives a single source of truth for each major entity built from the ground up. What's important is that these data pillars are interconnected, which means that there's pre-built interconnectivity between entities built right into the unified data model. With a single source of truth for a particular entity, for example, financial records, we're then able to think about how do we tie auxiliary applications to that primary source of truth so that way we can use that information in more comprehensive ways to solve more problems for the customer. To do this with all of the business data is one thing, but we've taken it even further with the way that we've structured the way that collaboration is happening at that data level. So there's these productivity and collaboration data pillars as well, which are ingredients for an effective recipe for organizational collaboration. Ultimately, we've integrated these business and collaboration data pillars so that they can work seamlessly together. To make all of this possible, we've had to do a lot of work on the back end, including building out a custom database, optimizing hardware, etc. Additionally, this is what's allowed us to do unified file storage across the operating system, which brings together business data and also the productivity and collaboration data from all these various applications. The last point we'd want to emphasize here is that unified data models and file storage can't be done through acquisition. All of this has to be built in-house from the bottom up. All of this has to be thought together if it's going to be effective so it can be developed correctly. This is the work that we're continuing to drive forward with to expand the capabilities of our apps, the services that make them even more powerful, the platforms that bring everything together, and that ultimately are formed into a cohesive and powerful, unified, integrated operating system. Of course, as we've said, it's important that we need to be able to extend our application platform, allowing customers to implement it in unique ways and innovate on top of it. By extending the apps, services, and storage layers, we're effectively able to extend the entire stack. This is what allows the Zoho platform to be extended, integrated, and to be built on top of. Naturally, this means a number of different capabilities, from basic in-app customization all the way to things like no and low-code integration platforms, low-code extensions and widget builders, or even just complete serverless development. In providing all these customization tools, it's not only important to cover the range of functionality, but also the different levels of technical expertise that people will have in different organizations, which is why it's important that we have no-code options, low-code, and pro-code tools as well. Purolite is a Zoho One customer that has extended the Zoho platform in a number of interesting ways. They're a chemical manufacturer with offices in over 40 countries, and they started several years ago with Zoho CRM before moving into Zoho One to modernize their analytics, reporting, expense management, business processes, and sales capabilities. They've extended Zoho with custom functions, integrated Zoho CRM with their proprietary ERP, developed several custom applications, and more. To build those custom applications, they use Zoho Creator, which is our low and no code custom application development platform. For example, one app they built allows salespeople to request trade show materials when they go on the road. This was something that was done through spreadsheets and was very ad hoc, but is now integrated into the CRM and also connects two teams in a much more effective way. In fact, they've used Zoho Flow, which is the integration platform, to be able to extend the types of integration that's available within Zoho by connecting their custom applications to other Zoho applications to streamline processes and improve user experience. When it comes to extending the Zoho platform, customers do this through a mixture of self-implementation or through partners or SIs. Now we can turn to the cloud platform, which is the infrastructure that makes all of this stuff possible. And for this, we want to make just a few points. First, we don't run on public clouds. We manage our own infrastructure, and there's a lot of advantages to doing so. For example, if we were on AWS, our data center operations would be 3 to 4x more expensive, and that's after they'd give us a pretty good deal. Second, we do deep R&D in each layer of the stack, from servers to firewalls to hardware, to the running of the data center itself, to network optimization. Ultimately, invention and optimization is the savings that we create for our customers, so we think it's very important that we're invested in all of these areas. Third, having expertise in infrastructure allows us to explore new opportunities, such as doing on-premise deployments. We're already doing this with analytics and Creator for some select customers. We see this as a major trend going forward in which companies will want us to be able to move behind the firewall. Ultimately, the reason that we have this cloud platform and put so much time and energy into it is that it means we are in control of our own destiny. It means that when we actually put together everything that we do, we're vertically, horizontally, and contextually integrated, focusing on delivering better products and services for our customers. Thank you very much.